Today, let's reflect on the theme for this year's summit: accelerating Ghana's economic transformation, driving bold reforms through leadership, technology, and industrialization for sustainable growth. I'd like to touch on 4 areas that I consider critical pillars of our transformation journey. This is by no means an exhaustive list, but I want to focus on the importance of sustained macroeconomic stability, the power of technology, impact of strategic investment, and policy consistency. In the area of sustained macroeconomic stability, we Christians are the bedrock of transformation in these policy dialogues. Macroeconomic stability is foundation upon which all sustainable growth rests. Countries that have achieved consistent economic development, such as Singapore from the Far East and Rwanda nearby, have one thing in common: disciplined fiscal policies and resilient macroeconomic frameworks. In Singapore, strong central planning and prudent financial management have enabled steady growth, low inflation, high levels of investment for decades. And in Rwanda, after economic turmoils of the 1990s, it's rebuilt its economy by prioritizing stability, resulting in average GDP growth of above 7% over the past decade. For Ghana, the stakes are very clear. Recent improvements show what is possible when stability is restored. Ghana's GDP growth rebounded to 5.9 in 2025, while inflation declined to 3.2 as of March 2026, according to the GSS data. These are encouraging signals for households, for businesses, and investors alike. However, history reminds us that such gains are fragile if they are not deliberately sustained. Macroeconomic discipline must therefore be maintained to avoid a return to high inflation, currency volatility, and rising debt costs, pressures that increase imports prices, squeeze household incomes, and make long-term business planning very difficult. When stability is protected, businesses can invest and innovate with confidence. When it is lost, even the sound policies and strong enterprises struggle to endure. What does macroeconomic stability require in practical terms for us as a people? It means strengthening revenue mobilization without discouraging enterprise. My colleague Daniel made references to our revenue mobilization efforts. It means improving public expenditure efficiency, ensuring that every cedi that we spend creates sustainable, measurable value for our people. It means credible fiscal rules and transparent reporting. Business confidence is built when there's trust and predictability. Ultimately, stability is not solely a government objective. It's a national competitive issue. Evidence shows that stable macroeconomic conditions attract both domestic investment, they create jobs, and ensure sustainable and inclusive growth. The second pillar I want to touch on briefly is leveraging technology as a catalyst for growth and transformation. If macroeconomic stability is the foundation, then technology is definitely the accelerator that we need. Technology is a proven engine for transformation, both for governments and for businesses alike. The digital revolution in China has redefined its economy. E-commerce platforms and digital payment systems have opened new markets and boosted productivity. In China, digital technologies contributed over 40% of the country's GDP between 2017 and 2022, according to the World Economic Forum data. In the US, also a global leader in technology, they leverage data, analytics, and artificial intelligence to optimize government operations and business models. Our research as EY shows that up to 64% of public leaders see AI as a major source of cost savings, while 63% report improvement in service delivery with tangible efficiency and productivity gains across healthcare, finance, and logistics. For Ghana, the potential is enormous, but it requires focus. According to the World Bank Digital Economic Diagnostic Report, digital adoption could increase GDP by up to 2% annually. A case in point is the GRA e-tax platform, which is already showing signs of improved revenue collection and reduced leakages in the public sector. But there's a critical point. Technology is only transformational when it is inclusive. This means expanding affordable broadband, investing in skills and digital literacy, and supporting cybersecurity and trade frameworks. Without trust, adoption stalls, and without adoption, productivity gains remain theoretical. Therefore, our call is clear. Let's make digital infrastructure and digital skills central to our transformation agenda so that technologies become a job creator, a productivity enhancer, and a competitive advantage. The third pillar I call strategic initiative and investment that creates ripple effects. Transformation requires more than policy. It demands investment in impactful sectors. Ghana's growth historically has been largely service and resource-led, with insufficient industrialization to generate the scale of jobs and productivity gains that we require. Our transformation therefore hinges on moving beyond this model, up the value chain in agriculture, mining, and manufacturing, rather than just exporting raw materials. It is in this context that policy measures such as expansion of agro-processing, light manufacturing, pharmaceutical, textile, and construction materials, creation and development of industrial parks and special economic zones linked to ports and transport corridors, the targeted support for non-resource-based sectors under the Ghana Economic Transformation Project, which exclusively aims at diversifying away from commodity dependence, are great initiatives. As always though, our challenge as a country has been at the point of implementation of such policies, and more importantly, ensuring consistency of policy implementation over time. Infrastructure such as roads, ports, energy, connect market and reduce operational costs. PPPs, as has been touched on by Chair this morning, have unlocked investment expertise globally. Close by here in Kenya, their PPP program, for instance, has mobilized funding for transport and energy projects, resulting in improved services and job creation. There is need for us as a country to continue our focus on infrastructure, as this will help lower business costs, export competitiveness, and regional integration. We must also be deliberate about policies that create environment for private sector-led growth. Transformation depends on crowding in the private sector and private capital, and not public spending alone. We must create a platform to source, grow, and create access to patient capital, enough to spare, such as pension funds, to finance long-term projects. Cost of financing must be kept low, enough to spare the private sector growth and make our product competitive, not just against cheap imports, but also our export products. Sustained collaboration between government, the private sector, and all partners are required to achieve this. As I conclude, policy consistency and continuity, which we believe is essential for sustainable growth, is the fourth pillar that I just mentioned. Sustainable transformation hinges on policy consistency and continuity. Investors and business leaders thrive where there is policy predictability. South Korea's commitment to industrial, technology, and education reform over the decades has made it a global leader in innovation and growth, a case of policy consistency. Frequent policy reversals undermine confidence, it stifles investments. For Ghana, policy consistency means anchoring reforms in evidence, setting long-term national priorities that outlive political cycles, and maintaining transparent communication with the public and the markets. It also means institutionalizing that work. When programs succeed, we must scale them. When policies are sound, we must refine them and not abandon them. This is how countries build momentum. Ghana must ensure continuity in its reforms agenda, anchoring policy in evidence, maintaining transparent communication, and prioritizing long-term development over short-term gains. This will empower businesses to plan, invest, and innovate confidently. As we prepare for the 10th CEO Summit and Expo, I urge all stakeholders, government, businesses, and civil society to commit to bold leadership, technological innovation, strategic investment, and unwavering policy consistency. Ghana's economic transformation is not just a goal, but a shared responsibility for all of us. It demands that we move beyond diagnosis to execution and beyond short-term fixes to long-term competitiveness. Let's all pursue these pillars with resolve, collaboration, integrity, seizing the opportunity to build more productive economy, create decent jobs, and secure a prosperous future for all. EY commits to its support in the policy dialogue space as we drive the country's economic transformation. Thank you for your audience.